Walling is the ideal tool to quickly organize ideas and share them with someone, even if they don't have a Walling account. So this video, we're going to go through how to create a publicly shareable link and how you can use features within Walling to customize that experience for yourself and the people that you're sending it to. So first up, let's go over how to create a public link to your wall. It's super easy. You just go to the share button at the top of your wall. There's a shareable link that's currently disabled by default. You just change that to enabled, and there you go. You have a link that is generated that you can share with anyone, and it will take them directly to your wall. So we can just click it, and we can see here that this is the exact wall that we want them to see. And just to reiterate, when you share this link with people, they do not need to have a Walling account to view it. It's just basically a web page that they can view like anything else. So now let's talk about some of the features within Walling that can streamline this process a little bit more for you and give you some flexibility on how you use it. So if you want to pinpoint something to your viewer very quickly and just be like, hey, there's this one piece I want you to look at, you can do that by just color coding. So we can do that two ways. Right-clicking on the brick will open up the options menu that you can then color code with, or you can use the three dots at the bottom, does the same thing. And then, so when you're sharing your page with someone, you can be like, hey, I highlighted the one brick that I want you to look at. Can you take a look at this for me? And then when they get to the page from your link, they'll see like, oh, this is the one they're talking about. And it'll be that much faster for you to be like, hey, real quick. Next up is wall and section descriptions. So you can add a description to your wall so that when you share your wall with someone, they can see pretty easily like what you're trying to do with the wall, what's going on, kind of the overview of everything. You can also do that with your section too. You just click add description in the section options. And both of these items just make it a little bit clearer to the person that's receiving the wall, what's going on in each of the different pieces of the wall, whether that be the overall wall or just sections of the wall. Next, you can actually enable section numbers. This is enableable through the customize wall panel, and then you can hit show section numbers. And then this will display section numbers for each of the sections, numerically numbered. So that way, when someone is viewing the wall, I'm just gonna refresh real quick. You can see that there are the numbers. So that, let's say you're on, a Zoom call or something with someone and you're like going over the wall, you can be like, hey, for section 1 and for section 2, and you can kind of work with them through the process a lot more easily. Additionally, you can explain to them how to use the jump to feature and just say it's at the top of the page, and you can be like, we're in section 4, and they can jump to section 4, and you guys are on the same page that much easier. Another feature is allowing for public comments. This is in the share panel. So if we hit the share button again, and then right here, you can see there's an option for allowing public comments. Now, do note that they do need a Walling account to make public comments on the shared link wall without actually having to be in Walling in the wall. For example, so if we go here, you can see that I am indeed signed in. And when I hover, I can actually create comments directly relating to the items that I'd like to make comments about. So we can, add a comment right here, and we can say, what is the right traffic, and then my comment will be there. And then coming back into Walling, I can see that there's comments there left by me, but people who you're sending it to can leave their own comments and you can see them. This might be the right option for you if you have a customer who can make a Walling account but doesn't necessarily want to get into the actual mechanisms of navigating in Walling. Like you can just send them the link and they can make comments and respond and give feedback, and you guys can work closer together that much easier. It's essentially just removing an additional barrier of getting feedback on your work from stakeholders in what you're doing. Next up is pinning filtered section views. This can be super useful for essentially creating an interface for your stakeholders to interact with on the public wall, as opposed to being inside of Walling and creating that filtering mechanisms themselves per se. So let's say we added some tags to this, to our goals here, so that we could start filtering them. Let's say sales, I'll color code this to green. And then say UX for that, and UX for this. And let's say content for this one. So what we can do is we can create a filter and do just UX, filter that. And then now that we have that filter on, we can go ahead and pin that section view and rename it to UX, create a new one, visual view, and name this one sales. Filter by sales. And one more for content. Filter by content. So now that we have that in place, we can go back to our public link, refresh, and now you can see here all of our bricks are separated by tags, so that when people come here, say you're sharing this public link with a UX designer, your sales rep, and your copywriter, they are able to see the relevant bricks to them just by using this navigation that you've created for them, without even having to be inside of Walling. Next up is hiding wall members on the public link. So these icons up here, let's say you got like 12 people, they're going to be displayed up there. So if you didn't want that, you could go into customize wall, and at the bottom there's hide wall members. So you turn that on, and then let's go take a look at that in the public link again. And you can see my icon up here is now gone. So that would be for everyone who is a part of the wall. They wouldn't be displayed up here anymore. And furthermore, if you wanted to remove the profile icons from all of the bricks as well, that's in the same spot. You just go to customize wall and hide brick profiles. And this can be used for even just your own purposes, like when you're making walls and say you don't want to see your headshot all the time. Like you could just turn that off at any time for any wall. But that also applies for the public link. You can see now we have no profile icons anywhere. And that's all. I hope some of these tips were really helpful for you, and how you can customize your public link display and interface, and how you can utilize that further to communicate with your stakeholders and manage your projects. Until next time, have a good one.